Hi, Year 3. So Wednesday morning and English time. And in case you hadn't worked it out yet, this week is World Book Day. So we thought this week we would have our reading theme to our English tasks that we are going to be looking at. So yesterday you looked at your Purple Mash task and finishing off the book, which I hope you enjoyed reading, and I hope you like the ending of it. And today we're going to revisit a book actually, which you will all be familiar with. Squirrels, you will be familiar with this because I know you read this as a class reader during the autumn term. And otters, as well as squirrels, we also did some work to do with the conversation writing and the use of speech marks. So the book that we're going to be revisiting today is The Twits by Roald Dahl, because it's a book I think we all enjoyed. We loved getting to know the twits and all their strange, peculiar and funny ways. And we're going to revisit a different part of the story. So obviously last time we were focusing when we were doing our English work on the types of tricks that Mr. and Mrs. Twit used to play on each other. But today we're actually going to look at a part, I suppose, where they played unkind tricks on different creatures. And we're going to be looking at the Roly Poly Bird today. And we're going to look at an extract together. Now, this extract is in your the OneDrive folder. So if you've got a copy there with you, you might want to have it in front of you as we are reading through it. It will be up on the screen, so you can either read it with me or, as I say, you can read it through on your own copy. It's entirely up to you. So this part of the story then, just to sort of set the scene to remind you, if you have forgotten, is where we have the monkeys. So Mugglewump and his family, who are the monkeys there, who day after day used to watch the birds that used to come and land on the tree. Now, the problem with this tree was that the Twits, Mr. Twit, used to put glue onto the branches of the tree in order to catch the birds so that he could use them in his bird pie, which was one of his favourite meals. Now, the monkeys used to try and warn the birds about this, but to no effect because they couldn't understand them. So this is the extract in the story that we find out a little bit about what they do. We meet the Roly Poly Bird. And this is going to sort of pave the way, show us and guide us on our task that we're going to be asking you to work on and think about today. Okay, so let's read the extract together first of all. So this is taken, as you can see, from pages 46 to 49 in the book, The Twits, which you might actually have at home. I know lots of you have got Roald Dahl books, so you might have the actual text itself at home, but this is the extract that we're going to be reading. Mugglewump and his family longed to escape from the cage in Mr. Twit's garden and go back to the African jungle where they came from. They hated Mr. and Mrs. Twit for making their lives so miserable. They also hated them for what they did to the birds every Tuesday and Wednesday. "Fly away, birds," they used to shout, jumping about in the cage and waving their arms. "Don't sit on that big dead tree. It's just been smeared all over with sticky glue. Go and sit somewhere else." But these were English birds, and they couldn't understand the African language the monkeys spoke. So they took no notice and went on using the big dead tree and getting caught for Mrs. Twit's bird pie. Then one day, a truly magnificent bird flew down out of the sky and landed on the monkey cage. "Good heavens," cried all the monkeys together. "It's the Roly Poly Bird. What on earth are you doing over here in England, Roly Poly Bird?" Like the monkeys, the Roly Poly Bird came from Africa and he spoke the same language as they did. "I've come for a holiday," said the Roly Poly Bird. I like to travel. He fluffed his marvellous coloured feathers and looked down rather grandly at the monkeys. For most people, he went on, flying away on holiday is very expensive, but I can fly anywhere in the world for nothing. Do you know how to talk to these English birds? Mugglewump asked him. Of course I do, said the Roly Poly Bird. It's no good going to a country and not knowing the language. Then we must hurry, said Mugglewump. Today is Tuesday, and over there you can already see the revolting Mr. Twit up the ladder, painting sticky glue on all the branches of the big dead tree. This evening, when the birds come in to roost, you must warn them not to perch on that tree, or they will be made into bird pie. That evening, the Roly Poly Bird flew around and round the big dead tree, singing out, There's sticky stuff all over the tree. If you land in the branches, you'll never get free. So fly away, stay up high, or you'll finish up tomorrow in a hot bird pie. So that was the Roly Poly Bird's warning to the rest of the birds that were flying around, to warn them not to stay on that tree because that would be not a safe place for them to be. So we are going to look today at the way in which the Roly Poly Bird communicated with the birds to tell them that, because I wonder if you noticed something about the way that he did it. Not only was he obviously speaking the same language as the birds, which was part of the problem, but he did it in a particular style and a particular manner. So let me just show you a bit of his warning here. So there's sticky stuff all over the tree. If you land in the branches, you'll never get free. So fly away, stay up high, or you'll finish up tomorrow in a hot bird pie. So that was his warning. And I wonder if you notice his style in which he did it. If you've noticed the Walt on the board here, you might have a bit of a clue there, because he's done it in the way of making his words rhyme. He has used what we call rhyming couplets, because if we look at those 4 lines there that we have, the first 2 lines, the last word in each of those lines there rhyme. And in line 3 and 4, the word at the end of those lines rhyme as well. There's sticky stuff all over the tree. If you land in the branches, you'll never get free. So fly away, stay up high, or you'll finish up tomorrow in a hot bird pie. So if we look here, we've got tree, which we put in our red, rhymes with the word free here as well. They rhyme together. They've got the same spelling pattern. They rhyme, tree and free. And in the same sort of way, if we look at the end of line 3 and line 4, we've got the word high. I'm putting a different colour just so we can see the difference. And pie. Now, what do we notice about these words here? High and pie. They rhyme, don't they? They definitely rhyme, but the spelling pattern of them is different. And that's important to remember with spelling, with rhyming words, that they don't always have to have the same spelling pattern, because sometimes they can have the same sound, and that's what's important when rhyming. It's the sound that we're after, that needs to sound the same. So what we are going to be trying to do today is to come up with our own warning, our own rhyming warning to the birds to keep them away from the tree. So just like the Roly Poly Bird did with his warning, we're going to try and do our own version of this. And we're going to do this step by step. We like our step by step in English, don't we? Making sure that we think about it a bit at a time, okay? But this is an example of what we can sort of be working towards. So there are some sheets today which you're going to use to help you, and I'm going to talk you through each of those sheets and how you can use them just to take you through each of the different processes a bit at a time. Remember, we don't go straight into it. We always build it slowly and gather our ideas and our thoughts together. Okay, so this one here is called brain popping ideas. Just a moment, I'm going to just make sure I have shared that with you. So I could see it on my screen, but you couldn't see it on your screen, which is not particularly helpful. So there we go, that's better now. You can see it, brain popping ideas. So it says work with your partner. Now I know you might not have a partner with you if you're working at home. It might be that mum or dad or somebody at home is there to help you a bit. But if you haven't got anybody to work with, that's absolutely fine, because I know lots of you've got lots of your good ideas already on your own. So it says in each bubble, write an idea of something the roly-poly bird might say to the other birds. So what is he going to say to them? So we're just sort of getting our ideas together first of all. And it says, don't worry if it doesn't rhyme at this stage. Just get as many ideas as you can. So look, there's all these speech bubbles and thought bubbles and, you know, various things. You can just write in some ideas of what he might say. You remember, he's alerting them to the danger that's there. So we're not worried about rhyming at the moment. We just want to know what sort of things might he say. So he might say in this one here, danger below, because remember they're flying up high, aren't they? You might be saying danger below. He might tell them to keep flying. All right, he might say keep flying. He might tell them not to stop, don't stop. So what is he going to be saying to them? Put some of your ideas down in there, okay? Put as many as you can down, and remember, they don't need to rhyme. Okay, so that's your first sheet to just help give you some ideas, okay? But there is another sheet as well that you can have a little look at. So this here is called rhyme trees. So again, it says work with your partner. You don't have to work with a partner if you're working at home, but again, if you've got somebody there to help you, might want to talk about some ideas together. So it says, look at the word on each tree trunk and write words that rhyme with them on each apple of the tree. So you can see you've got the apples there. It says, remember, sometimes Roald Dahl made up new words of his own. He was quite creative with his language, so he was able to just come up with really bizarre new words. Okay, you could do the same. Not all the time maybe, because it's good to use some words as well that we know as well. So look, on the bottom of the tree, we can see we've got some words. Hug tight, that was the name of the glue that he used. So can we think of any words that rhyme with hug tight? So it's this "ite" sound that we need to be thinking about. So any words that you think that rhyme here, you could put on the apple trees there, okay? Could be bright, okay? Doesn't have to make too much sense at the moment. We're just getting those ideas down, all right, and just seeing what we could come up with. We've got pie on here because, of course, we know that was where the birds were going to end up. So we've already seen one example here of a word with high. You might think of some other examples, okay, that we can put into there as well. And then we've got tree, because that was where the glue was going. So what can we think of rhyming with tree? Okay, we can put some words up here to remind us, okay? Might be flea. So I don't mean as in the creature flee, but as in flee, as in making an escape. You flee somewhere to make an escape. And that sort of makes sense as well, doesn't it, with what's going on, what the birds are doing. So that might be a word that you might put down on there. Glue. Well, of course, we know that's what he was putting on. Okay, so what words can we think of that rhyme with glue? Could be blue. Have a think. What words can you come up with? And again, fill them on the apples there. So we've got a few different words just to guide us. So by the time you've got to this point, you will have filled in your apples trees with your rhyming words. You will also have got some ideas of the sorts of things that he is going to be warning them and saying to them. So then what we can try and work on is coming up and using it as an idea for creating your own rhyme. This is what this sheet in the OneDrive folder is for here, okay? So there's an example, there's another example here. We've obviously got the Roly Poly Birds example, but we've got another example here as well of how we can use those words to create that rhyming pattern. So the branches are covered in glue. It's hug tight. That was the name of the glue. Do not land here or you won't last the night. So fly away, go up in the sky. If you don't, Mr. Twit will put you in his bird pie. So that's not the rhyme the Roly Poly Bird used, but it's in the same style of the Roly Poly Bird's rhyme, in that we've got our 4 lines, our rhyming couplets, line 1 and 2 rhyme, line 3 and 4 rhyme. And it's giving that warning, and it's using some of those words to play around with to create that rhyme. Okay, so your task today is to use your rhyming trees, to use your warnings that you think the Roly Poly Bird is going to give to the other birds landing on the tree, and create your own rhyming couplets. So we'd love to see what you have created. You can have a go at doing the 4 rhyming lines. You could even have a go at doing 6 if you've got lots of good ideas. Once you've had a go at doing them, we'd love to see them. And because we're practicing using our seesaw at the moment, we'd love to see them on seesaw. So you could either take a picture of them and put them on there, or you could record your rhyme and we can actually hear it then and hear how it sounds, which would be fantastic. You could do both. You could put a picture and give your voice recording as well for us. So it's just another way in which we can see and hear what you have managed to create. So good luck, have fun. It's about being creative. It's about just trying out words and seeing what fits and what works. Okay, so we hope you have fun doing it, something a little bit different. And we look forward to seeing what you've done. So have a good rest of the day, and we shall catch up with you tomorrow, which is actually World Book Day itself. And we're going to be doing something which is actually linked to World Book Day tomorrow, but I'll explain more about that tomorrow. So have a good day today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.